Hello, my name's Chase, and I like things. And by that, I mean I love to collect a whole bunch of things, and I'm assuming, because you're here on this video, you do too. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you how I built my maximalist apartment, and how you too can create your own maximalist apartment. Now before I start, I have two disclaimers that I'd like to throw out there. First off, I'm no interior designer. In fact, in playing an Animal Crossing, I never even understood the feng shui feature that was adapted into that game, but this just goes to show that if I can do it, you can do it. And the second disclaimer is there is a very fine line between a maximalist apartment and a messy apartment, and sometimes that line blurs. So understanding that it takes time, it's not just a one-time done situation, and it's gonna look messy at times. So bear with the process, lean into it, and eventually you'll get to somewhere that you feel comfortable with. So for this video, I'm going to be breaking it into two main sections. The first one is items that you are looking for, and then the second section is items that found you, and I'll explain that when I get there. So the first piece about a maximalist apartment that I'm going to be talking about is looking for things that you like. So the first step is finding, what do you like? For me, there's certain things that I'm looking for when I'm going to thrift stores or antique shops, and it's usually the niche things that I enjoyed when I was a child. These range from Pokemon to Webkins, Club Penguin, Neopets, anything that I enjoyed as a kid. I like finding those collectibles now that I have adult money and buying it to put somewhere in a collection. I tend to put them in two locations, either in a bookshelf where it's specific for that, or I try to incorporate it around the house. I actually quite enjoy having specific things that I'm looking for. It makes it enjoyable going out and hunting for these specific things and specific brands rather than just finding things that call to me, but that's also a really fun and important part of the whole process as well. The second piece to building a maximalist apartment is the items that find you. And what I mean by this is these items that you're going into thrift stores or other department stores that stand out to you that you may not have necessarily been looking for. As much as I love looking for specific things, some of my favorite pieces in our apartment are things that we have found just on a whim that we happened to come across that Allie and I thought were really funny, and we ended up picking it up just solely because in that moment we were intrigued by it. And these pieces are usually really interesting and become conversation pieces. Whenever someone comes over, these are usually the items that they're stopping and asking about, whether it's interesting or kind of strange. Those are the ones that you get to have a conversation with and say, you know what, I too felt the same way. This was a strange item, and that's why I picked it up and put it in the home. So this leads me back to the disclaimer that I put out at the beginning of this video, that a maximalist apartment and a messy apartment sometimes happen at the same time. So the important thing here is to understand that if you're building a maximalist apartment, there is going to be times that your apartment's going to look messy, and maybe things are going to be sitting out because you don't have a home for them yet. But half the fun of building something like this is finding those pieces that go together even though they normally wouldn't. The last thing I want to mention is, despite this YouTube video, there truly is not a way to tell someone how to build their personalized maximalist apartment. It is impossible for someone to tell you how to take all your unique items that you've collected over time and how to organize them in a space to make it look visually pleasing. That comes down to you organizing, moving, trying new things, and being open to the idea that I may have to move around my items 100 times before I like how they look. And that is all I have for this week's video, so thank you so much for watching. Comment, subscribe, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment below if you're building a maximalist apartment or if you have any tips on my apartment. And that is it, so I will see you all in the next video. See ya.